Hello everyone, welcome to Network Homes, and today we are going to discuss pen testing most asking question in the interview. Here today we'll discuss 25 commonly asked questions. Okay, so there are lots of questions I got from the student also, that some questions they're not able to answer, they want some help, that what kind of question comes in the interview. We are learning cyber security, but in the interview they asking some scenario based questions and everything. So that we are going to discuss today. So you can see here in this the first question, let's say, what is the SOC and what are the primary responsibility? So if you are learning cybersecurity, you already have idea. The SOC is what? Security Operation Center. And what are they doing? What is their primary responsibility? Let's say monitoring. Then let's say they are doing what? Detecting, analyzing, and also sometimes what? They are also responding if there is any cyber security incident happen. And also they doing some combination of the technologies and they try to provide solution. This is what simple and straightforward answer for the what is SOC and what are the primary responsibility. Then you can see another common question like what? How do you differentiate between event, alert and incidents? So here you can see an event is what? Any observable occurrence. Lots of time confusion here happen. Okay, like student are thinking alert and event same. Like there is a OS based also different wording. Windows have a alert event viewer. Okay, in Linux or IDS, IPS kind of other security device there is a alert. But according to cybersecurity, all keyword have their own one different terminology. So event is what? What kind of event which we can observe, which we can check if it is occurrence. Then alert means what? A notification of potential issues. Let's say if any event already occur, but is there any issue or not? It's a normal event information. If there is an event with some problem or issue, then there is an alert. And incident. Now what? An incident is a confirmed security breach or violation. Okay, normally what? If we talk as a personal life, then incident is a normal keyword, but as a cyber, incident means what? Something already happened. So whenever any cyber security breach happen, then it is known as a incident. And that's why we have some another special cyber security roles like what? Incident response. Then you can see what are the IOC and how do you identify them. Now the thing is what? There are lots of small keyword or let's say short form in the cyber world are famous. But lots of times students only focus on the cyber security tools or virus or attack and that kind of things, and which is look like interested as a practical and everything. And lots of time they forget that they are learning cyber for become professional or job like that. So according to professional, and if you want to do the job as a pen tester and everything, then you require this or wording to be handy in your mind. Okay, so indicate of compromise. Indicator of compromise, that is the IOC. It is what? Are the forensic data such as files or any hash values or let's say IP addresses or you can say names that indicating some specific potential breach. That is what? IOC. Already something happen, indicator of compromise. Something compromise and that they want to indicate, then it is known as a IOC. They are identified using the logs or you can say threat intelligence or you can say security tools. Okay, then what is SIEM? This is one of the common thing nowadays. If you already learning cybersecurity course or you already working in the cybersecurity, then you have idea that SIEM kind of thing is very trending. So what is SIEM and how does it help in the threat detection? So security for information and event management, that is a simple full name. Okay, security information and event management, that is a SIEM. It is a system that aggregate and analyze the log data in the real time and detect the threats. It's I'm giving simple answer. Okay guys, if I want to provide this training, then there are lots of deeper explanation, but here this session is specially according to what? How you answer in the interview. Lots of time also happen that student know multiple thing about some keyword, then interview ask that same keyword and student will start explaining all the thing they know. And in that, what are the one indirect mistake happen? That in the student explanation, they using multiple different technical word. From that interview ask another question. Okay, tell me that. Okay, tell me that. So here I just specially create simple and straightforward one line or two line answer which you can give in the interview. So next is what? Have you worked with any SIEM tools like a Splunk, or we have QRadar, or let's say ELK? These all are some another word, okay, another tools which is related to SIEM, and it is telling what describe the use case. So normally what, as a student or as a learner, let's say maybe you don't have experience, or maybe you are doing some internship, or actually you are working and you are working in the cyber security, and then you are going for the promotional level or high level job. So for that kind of person who already working, they can easily say yes, I have the experience. But what about student and learner? In that also, guys, you can say yes, because if you are not just learning cybersecurity course as a theory, but you are actually do some practicals, let's say you create some topologies, and in that you try to create some incidents, you try to create some event, and they are generating some alerts, and that alerts and log you are able to analyze. You use these all tools like Splunk or any one of these like QRadar or ELK, and then let's say you created a correlation rules with that and try to detect any kind of attack like a brute force or login attempt or anything, then you can simply say yes, I know the SIM tools, I already work with the SIM tools. Okay, it is not telling that you have experience. Understand the question also. If they are simply saying that do you work with these tools or not, so whenever you are doing practice you already work, right? So this kind of answer you can give. Then how would you create a correlation rules in the same platform? Guys, if you remember, this is in our previous question answer the word I use. Like I give the example, sometime what you try to explain some word, then interview detect that word and give the next question. Same thing here I try to follow as a real interview question. So it is telling that okay, you are telling that you are able to create correlation rules. How you create? In the same platform. You can give any one basic example. So you can specify. Like what? I can use some specific field to match. I can use the filtration kind of option. I can try to detect the patterns and all these things what according to log source and everything. Then you can say any example also. Let's say I created the rules to detect more than 5 failed login attempts from the one IP address, and also you can specify more better way that what I created the rules to detect more than 5 to 7 failed login attempt within 5 minutes or within 10 minutes. That way what time period, sometime what, let's say 5 failed login attempt possible, like one time I log in right now, then after 1 hour or 2 hour, then after 5 hour, then it is not look like a attack. It's like what normal user maybe try to log in, then not able to remember password, they try to check some notepad or Excel sheet or some physical notes somewhere they've written the password, after 1-2 hours they trying, then it is not look like a attack. But let's say within some time period, if they try to do multiple login and multiple login failed, then it is known as a attack. It's like an incident. Then you can see you observe the multiple failed login. You can see guys, continue. Okay, now continue question from that only whatever you are explaining. It is saying but you observe that multiple failed login attempts from the single IP, like you created rules, so they indirectly try to check your actual knowledge, that you are just telling by asking in the Google or Chat GPT that this kind of question how I give the answer, or you actually work. So for that way it is trying to tell you, so whatever you are telling in your previous answer they try to re-verify. So it is telling, okay, it is asking like what you observe some multiple failed login attempts, what will be the first response, or maybe what will be the first steps. So you can say here there is a very simple step. Check if the IP is an internal or external, private IP or public IP. Verify the login attempt, that every time it's same IP is try to ping, same IP try to login, and is there any brute force kind of indicator, or it is considering as a blocking IP temporary. That all thing we can do. Then explain the phases of an incident response life cycle. So this is that kind of question which is sometimes not even part of any course, because this whole thing what as a company what kind of standard they are following, according that it is important. But as a course or as a training, sometimes what people, student, trainer are focusing on the topics. Okay, trainer focusing on full course, but sometimes students are asking that do this practical, show me this practical like that, and other non-technical part sometimes is. So this is what explain the phases of the incident response life cycle. So first of all, what incident response we already discussed before also. So you can see here it is telling what based on the NIST. If you are a cyber people, then you have idea that there are multiple different standard and multiple different frameworks are there for the cyber security. So it is telling based on the NIST tell me. So what? According to NIST, incident response life cycle is including normal 4 steps. One step is what? Preparations. Okay. Then what? Detection and analysis. Then what? Third step is containment, eradication and recovery. And then what? Post incident activity. So simply think what? Prepare properly. Then try to detect. If there is detection, then try to analyze. If it is analysis done, then what? It is telling is there any containment or is there any eradications or is there any recovery possible or not. And then try to do the post incident activity like what? You can maybe provide the training. You can maybe try to check that this same kind of vulnerability somewhere else available or not. So this whole thing is what? Incident response lifecycle. Then it is telling what are false positives and how do you reduce them in the SOC environment. Now remember guys, this is again mostly asked the question, as this is already main common 25 question, but from that 20 also I'm again highlighting what are the question compulsory mostly comes. Then it is asking about false positive. So again it's related to some alert and SIEM tools and whatever incident happens. So let's say there are some alert or notification or you can say logs are coming. And that is indicating that there are some attack happen. There are some kind of malicious file is there. But let's say later you find that whatever that log is generated, that is actually for the some good file. But some pattern is matching. So it's detecting as a malware. Or let's say maybe there are some valid IP, but that IP range or subnetting concept little different in the networking, and that IP they count as a part of malicious or not allowed list. So whenever let's say something happen, but that is look like a good, okay, valid things, but still log generated, that is called false positive. So here you can see false positive is the begin activities flagged as a threats. They can be reduced through the tuning SIEM rules or using the threat intelligence. Then what steps would you follow when investigation a potential phishing attack? Nowadays you know that guys, phishing attack is very common. Okay, lots of common people are also part of this attack. So this kind of question also coming. So it is telling what? That validate the email address or validate the email headers, or some links are available in the emails, or let's say any attachment is there, then you can check that. Whatever the contact and user, sometime what user profile name is different, which is visible in the sender and receiver, but when we open that, then we get actually what is the email ID. So email ID may be something random, not the actually username. And also check that if there is an isolated machine available or not, if it is necessary, and try to open from that isolated machine, so that if there is any malicious files or malicious links, then what, it will not affect the current running network. And according that, if you find something malicious, then you can update the rules. So this is your simple steps if you want to investigate phishing attack. Then explain the difference between authentication and authorization in the web apps. Now understand guys, normal things like authentication where you want to verify, you typing username and password, or authorization what you learning as a networking or network security are mostly common word. That kind of sorry ये कट करना थोड़ा हट के बाद. So that kind of word is what more so that kind of word is what main definition remain as it is. But sometime let's say they try to trick you. Interview intentionally add some context behind that wording. Like here you can see what to explain the difference between authentication and authorization in web apps. Now what happen if normally student have an idea about authentication, authorization, but let's say interview added what? According to web apps. Then again they start thinking in web app there is a different things. It should be same. How it is different and unnecessary what? Confusion create if the learner or student knowledge is not proper or they have doubt in the answer. But here also concept is same. Okay, just another kind of question intentionally added that look like a common question but sometimes confused. So it is telling what authentication verifies the identity, username and password. And authorization is what check if the user has a permission to access that resources. Simple. Okay. In that you no need to confuse with the web apps or let's say database. It's same only. Then question number 12. How would you test a login form for the SQL injection? Simple thing. Okay. This also one of the most asking questions, and in all kind of cyber job or pen testing job this is coming, that if there is a database, if there is a SQL, then what kind of things you will check. If there is a login form, how you verify, how you test. So one simple thing you can see here, I mentioned in the screen this part. Okay, quotation or quotation 1 quotation equal to quotation 1. So if you already learning cyber, then you have this idea. This is what a that kind of code which is try to make a that script value true. Not like value as an ABC user or XYZ user, okay? But value become true. And if value become true, then what? As a backend script, they are checking that username is matching or not, and that if it is matching, then value become true. So here we are not actually giving username or password, but we are giving that kind of code which is make the value true, and that's how it is able to bypass the authentication. So it is very simple trick, otherwise lots of advanced trick also there, but that kind of practical things directly no one will ask you in the interview that okay, this is my web server, okay, take this laptop and try to bypass. No, but they will try to check your basic knowledge that you have this idea or not. So this is the script we can use in the SQL login form to bypass the authentication. And sometime what, let's say we not get the access, we not get the login, but we can check the response also. If we are using this kind of script, is there any difference in the response? So we can monitor the response for the database, errors, and if there any unauthorized access possible or not. Then what is XSS and how can it be exploited in the web app? Okay, normal thing again, cross-site scripting, that is XSS. It is what? When an attacker inject the malicious script into the web content, not as a form, okay, this time not the database but as a normal web page where they try to put the cross-site scripting, XSS. So it can steal the cookies or it can manipulate the user sessions and everything. So that is called XSS. Then how do you identify and test for the insecure direct object reference? Okay, insecure direct object reference, also known as a IDOR. So how do you identify that? So very simple thing here, manually change the URL parameter or ID to the access the user data. Let's say whenever you're accessing some websites, in that website there is a multiple pages or multiple images. In short, some kind of pattern which is repeating. Let's say if I open the normal Instagram, then what? One template, there is a photos, downside there is a like button, share button. Then I can go for the next post, again same format, again there is a photo, like button, share button. So that way also in website, let's say you planning for purchasing something, let's say Amazon, Flipkart also, then there is again pattern, photo is there, description is there, purchase button or add to cart button is there, and that same thing for all product. So same way, whenever you have the website where you have multiple content with the same format, then what? In background it is handling with the database, like what page 1, page 2 or page number 1, page number 2 or page ID 1, page ID 2 or page ID 01, page ID 02. That way you will find some pattern in the URL. When you're searching in the browser, in the URL you will find that. Maybe you find what? About maybe you find what form 01, form 02, maybe you find input 1, input 2. In short, you find some numbering or you find some name pattern which is indicating whatever in the web page. So in this case, what you need to do, you can try to modify that name. Let's say page 1, instead of that try to like what page 1000, page 1234, any value, try to modify ID or name. And if it is showing the other different page which is maybe not a public page, somewhere else, put storing in the website web server for the admin use, for other any normal use, but not for the public user, not visible in the web page. But by typing manually that number, if something visible, then again it's what, it's kind of IDOR. So if there is no validation, then it is what, indicating it is a IDOR. If it is asking, whenever I changing some value, it is asking any verification, login or OTP or anything, then there is a no IDOR, otherwise there is a IDOR possible. What tools do you use in the web application pen testing and why? Okay, so here it's not a very tricky or very much deeper cybersecurity technical question, no, but still this kind of question comes in the interview, that they try to ask you, they try to check your knowledge that you have the web application pen testing idea or not, or what kind of tools you are using. They just try to check your daily practice. So these are the most common tools, like what, Burp Suite, OWASP or NICTO. I also mentioned the description. You can see Burp Suite is what, for the inception or scanning. OWASP is what, for testing, and NICTO is for what, vulnerability scanning. So these are the most common tools. If you have this idea, you can use that. You can mention these. If you don't have idea, whatever other tools you are using daily life, you can mention that. But I will suggest, if you don't have this idea, at least start practice on these tools also, because these are the most common using tools for web application pen testing. Then question number 16, how would you approach testing a custom build admin panel? These are the again most common question coming, guys. In company, they are using some developer or script writer and they are creating a custom admin panel. So how you can check that? If there is a common software, we can use the tools. But whenever there is a custom, sometimes tools not able to crack it, sometimes tools not able to scan it. So what you need to do? Start with the simple step, like what? Check the default credential. Admin panel is customized. There are script and everything change. But what about the login credential? If let's say developer is smart, script is good, but whoever try to log in, that user are not that much smart and they using default password. Okay, then what? Then default credential able to log in, like what? Mostly some web page have a username admin, password admin. Okay, or username admin, password 123. Okay, or username administrator and password admin at 123. Sometimes they have a password and name as a what? That web server version. Like in the Linux, what? Root and tour. In the Kali Linux also we have root and tour. In the Parrot we have Parrot username, Parrot password. So whatever that kind of default credential that you can try. Okay, then you can check some hidden URL. Again, let's say script and code everything fine, but other URL also we can able to access. We can check some custom hidden URL. We can check the input validation. We can check the role based access, that what user try to log in, then it is a different page. Second user try to log in, then it's another page, or every user are redirected to the same page. That means what? Every different user have a different role, then it is redirecting different page, or everyone redirecting to the same page. If same page, that means what? There is no division according role. So role based access also we can manipulate. And if there are some vulnerable parameter, then what is the OWASP top 10? Can you name at least 5 vulnerability? Now this is normal word, okay? Number. Let's say maybe they will ask, okay, explain me any 3 vulnerability, give me any 2 vulnerability name, give me any 5. That are simple thing. But OWASP top 10 is important. If you have idea, well and good. Otherwise, from now, after watching this video only, try to identify what are the OWASP top 10. From that I just listed here, okay? Like what? OWASP top 10 is the list of critical web activity risk, and in that you can see 5 common example like injection, SQL injection possible, or cross-site scripting, or broken access control, or security misconfiguration, or sensitive data exposure. This sensitive data exposure also known as a what? Encryption, decryption. Some data, let's say, encrypted, but they are using very simple encryption algorithm. Anyone can decrypt, or normal basic knowledge having that kind of security people also able to decrypt. Then again, sensitive data expose. And sometimes also sensitive data expose means what? That there are some private data, hidden data available in the website for the web admin or other internal user, not for the public. But like we discussed in the beginning, like IDOR or other URL changing, name changing, maybe allow you to visit that page and sensitive data expose. Then explain the CSRF with the real world example. One of the common attack. Here I'm not telling one of the most question, okay, but one of the common attack which is trending in the company, corporate, CSRF. And how do you test for it? So cross-site request forgery, that is a CSRF. It's a tricks a user browser to send the unauthorized command. I can explain simply, otherwise it's a very big attack and very big different steps. But as an interview answer, what you need to tell, that let's say if I want that there are some user can run some command automatically or can send some click automatically without user awareness. I am sending some predefined script in the browser in the page. If it is in the user browser have some condition matching that kind of browser or version they are using, or that kind of web page are there, then we can use the CSRF attack where we can fulfill all the parameters and automatically without user awareness action done from the user side. That is CSRF. Okay, and that's why it is telling here what you want to send the unauthorized command from the user browser. So this we can test by creating a forged request and checking if it is executed or not. Means what? We can customize, we can forge some request intentionally from our side, which is what able to take some action but not malicious, just for testing purpose. And if that is executing, that means CSRF possible. Remember guys, during the interview, whatever different high level hacking skills you have, but in your answer you need to mention according to security perspective, according to company organization. Company is not hiring you for actually doing illegal hacking. No, that is illegal. The word itself saying, okay, for valid and ethical hacking or pen testing. Remember this thing. Then what is the Burp Suite and how do you use it in the web app pen testing? Now remember guys, this is again one of the most common tools for website analysis or web application pen testing, that is Burp Suite. So again, if you already work on that, there is a lots of option, not just a multiple menu, but one menu line, then second menu line, there is a 3-4 menu line, then left panel. If you are working there, then you have idea. How you explain in the interview, there are lots of things. And that's why again, this to the point, simple answer, this video will help you. A Burp Suite is a proxy based tools. That is what intercept or manipulate or scan the web request. Simple. Okay, you know that there are lots of things possible in Burp Suite. If you already cyber guy working or practicing or experienced people, then you know that there are lots of things possible in the Burp Suite. We are not going to explain all the thing in the interview. What you need to understand, the main focus, majorly, mostly, how we are using Burp Suite. We are starting the Burp Suite, then we are using some packet intercept, or we are using as a proxy that whatever the web page data go to the Burp Suite, and Burp Suite will forward to the other main website. So the in middle, Burp Suite will able to analyze the packet, check the website package, check the request and response. So main thing is what proxy things. Burp Suite act as a proxy. That is what intercept. If Burp Suite is not act as a proxy, it will not able to intercept. Okay, and if not able to intercept, then not able to manipulate. Okay, so you can see here key features is what there is a repeater, intruder and scanner. Main thing why we are using Burp Suite? For intercept and manipulate. But using Burp Suite, what we can do? So we can do the repeater. Same kind of request we can forward, that repeater. Then intruder. We can receive the page, receive the request, post that, hold that, change the value and forward. That is what? Intruder. Like an intruder we are changing. And scanner, we can scan the website like scroller and everything if you idea. So these are few key points which you can mention if anyone asks you about Burp Suite in the interview. Then let's say you find a login page but cannot brute force it. What are the alternate do you try? So here again indirectly interview try to check you that you only have a normal XSS or SQL injection or brute force kind of basic idea, or you actually have a different pen testing level knowledge. So what it is telling here, that you find the login page but cannot able to brute force it. Login page is there, username password option is there, login button also there, but you're not able to brute force. Means what? Maybe there is a limitation of attempts. You only try 2 or 3 times, then not able to log in. Or maybe there is a password or keyword attempt, number of try limit, anything. It is telling what? Brute force, not possible. Then you can check for the password reset flow. Social engineering. Okay, check for the default credential. Instead of doing brute force and trying multiple different possible password, try with the default credential. Like we discussed in previous question also. Default username, admin or password like that. Maybe we not require brute force and directly login. Indirectly our focus for brute force is what? To login. Login possible or not, that we need to check. That we can check with the default credential also, right? Then we can check what? Reset flow. Let's say I'm not able to brute force for that login page, but there is a forget password open. Okay, like in the Gmail also we have forget password option, Facebook also, Instagram also. If we forget the password like a normal user, then we'll click on the forget password. It will asking what? Email ID or sometime mobile number for OTP, like that. So try to check that flow. In that also sometime what we can do multiple try and again brute force possible there for the username. Okay, sometime also if you remember user numeration, then we try to find the username. Once the username is fixed, then again we'll only need to know the password. So we can dividing one main brute force attack into 2 parts. Username separately find, password separately find. We can do that. Or you can analyze the login mechanism for bypass technique, like what I told you in previous question, that quotation script, database script, SQL injection. That also you can try bypass the login if brute force is not working. Then see here, a user received an email with the suspicious link. How would you handle this incident? Now this whole scenario based question started. Okay guys, they not giving any specific domain name or email ID, they just try to give you scenario. It is telling what? Receive email by the users and they're having the suspicious link. How would you handle this? So see the key point I mentioned here, quarantine the emails. Whatever that email, keep it separate. Check the link in the sandbox machine. Sandbox machine is like what? A dedicated isolate machine where anything open, if something happen, if there is a effect, only remain in that machine. It will not affect to the network or other networking device or other network user. That's called isolated sandbox. Contact the user, whoever the user, okay, sender or receiver, both side. You can check it. Try to contact them and inform them. Search the logs for the similar kind of email. Maybe one user is smart, so they inform you as an admin that hey, I got this kind of suspicion link, what to do. But what knows? Who knows that after this user, they also planning, attacker also planning to send this kind of suspicion link to other user. So who don't aware, they will click. Or maybe who knows that the user who contact you, that is the last user. Already other user get this kind of link in yesterday, before 2 days. So what? You need to check the log also for similar kind of mail and educate the users. Whenever this kind of incident happen, take that screenshot or email or link and everything, create a very simple and small presentation and go to the user cabin or take some small meeting and inform them that this kind of link or this kind of email could be suspicious, maybe malicious, be aware, don't click this, or if anyone finds something and don't know what to do, inform me, ping me, call me, mail me, like that. Then explain a situation where you discover a vulnerability and how you reported it. Okay, so just try to check that do you find any vulnerability or not. If you find, then how you report it. Or let's say suppose you are fresher, you did not find that, but it is just checking your skills. Do you have the proper step idea? If you find some vulnerability, what to do and how you report. So see here simple example. Let's say I found some accesses in the internal app during the testing. Okay, then what? Documented the payload and affected the parameters and reported to the developer teams via secure channel. Simple. Okay, as a fresher, as a student, you don't have much idea, but these steps will work. If you want to add some extra ingredients here, you can, but this is simple answer. What are the things, what are the signs of the compromised host in the corporate network? Again, this question can be asked in the different word also, that if there is a multiple computer in the organization, how we can identify which computer is compromised. So you can check if there is a unusual traffic, if there is a high CPU, if there is a unknown processes, and there is a disable antivirus or suspicious login or unexpected changes in the system file. These all are the point or signs of what? Compromise users, compromise host. You no need to talk all these points. You can, if you remember, well and good. Otherwise, at least remember 4 to 5 points from this all list. Then 24. You detect the beaconing's traffics. What steps would you take to investigate? So understand here again scenario based things. Okay. Identify the destination IP or domain. Check for the persistence or collect the memory dumps, isolate the host, and perform the malware analysis. These all things are good for the beaconing traffic. Now understand guys, again I'm just telling that this video is specially created for what? Interview based question answer. So I'm only explaining that part, what you need to explain in interview. If I explain all the point here for the particular topic as a training session, then again that is not good as a answer of the interview. So if anyone facing issue or anyone not able to understand any question, just comment in below. Okay, try to mention the question number or question itself, and then tell me what things you want to know more. I will guide you, I will help you. Then 25 number question, if the SIEM alerts shows the multiple failed VPN logins followed by the successful one, what would you do? Okay, there is a SIEM alert, it's showing what? Multiple failed login attempts followed by the successful one. Means what? 3-4 failed login, then successful, or again 10-11 failed login, then successful. Then what you do? So it is what? Correlated with the time step. As I told you guys in the previous one of the question also, that there is maybe multiple failed login, but in the long time, 1 hour, 5 hour, 10 hour. But let's say within small time of period, if you are facing this kind of issue, then it is important. Then you need to take action. So it is telling what? Correlate to the time step, identify the user behavior, check the geolocation, that all fail login from the same location and within small time, or it is coming from different location with the different date and different time, and verify with the user that hey user, you try to log in this. And then what? If still you have some doubt, you can reset the credential if it is suspicious. Then what? Now this we discuss guys as a most common 25 question, as I told you. Okay, but there are some question which is depend on the different organization, different JD, what kind of job role they are asking. Okay, pen testing is there, but in pen testing also multiple different role possible. So I have few bonus questions for you where I can tell you according to scenario, but what? The scenario according to job role and everything. You can see here. One simple question is what? How would you test for the security misconfiguration in the deployed web application? So this question only comes if company are looking for that kind of candidate, which is they are looking for the web application pen testing. So here again, you can see, you can check the default credential, you can check the unnecessary service, you can check the verbose error message or outdated software is there or not. or you can check the directory listing. Then let's say you are performing a pen testing and detect the web protection. What is your next move? So again, it is what? Web application firewall, that is a web, that related questions. Everyone not asking for web, but again, as I told you, role based question. Okay, what kind of JD according that. So if you find the web, then what? You need to fingerprint the web. You need to get the detail about web, what company web, what version of the web, like that. Then bypass using the encoding or alternative payload. There are some extra hash code and alternative code. If you have idea, we can use the binary part also. And what? Then we can switch with the logic based attack. If that coding not work, then logic based attack. Again, here coding, I'm not talking like programming. Okay, some extra code we can change with the hash value, we can change with the URL encoding, like that. Then you can see one more bonus question. How do you stay up to date with the latest vulnerability and exploits? This is most common question, guys. Okay, but what if company are looking for freshers, and in that they find some potential in you and they want to know about your next few steps in the upcoming month or upcoming week, or they want to know about your last 1 year journey, that how you are able to find new update, how you stay up to date. Then you can use this kind of some point like what? I'm following the platforms like where we get the CVE details, or we can get the exploit database, or we can get the threat related post, or HackerOne kind of platform where they are putting the bug bounty kind of things and different details. And I also subscribe to some security newsletter. These are the most common answer, guys. There are again lots of things. Maybe you are using what? Some channel in the Discord. Maybe you are using some channel in the Telegram. But that whole thing is not count as a official. So try to use this kind of wording. Instead of HackerOne, if you can use other organization name. Okay. Instead of this, you can specify something other, but use this kind of some key point which is valid, which is look like a professional. Okay, valid, not like just normal user that okay, I try to become group member in some Facebook group or Instagram group, not like that. So this is the answer. Okay, so now just understand, guys, these all questions I ask you, that is what according to scenario based also, normal theory based also, and there are lots of topics where we can make it more deeper and bigger things. But as an interview, you just need to remain straightforward and give the simple and straightforward answer. Otherwise, as I told you, sometime what happen, you explaining some multiple key point, multiple technical topic in your one answer, and interview asking question from that another topic which you mentioned. Means you are inviting interviewer that ask me the another topic question. So try to understand about that. If you like this video, kindly subscribe that. And if you want this kind of more video in more deeper way with other technical question, put in the comment. We are ready to create that. Thank you.